Hello everybody and welcome back to FX Street. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin from multiple time frames and see what's up with it and where it could go going forward. So if you like the videos that we put out and want to stay a bit with the hardest trends in the cryptocurrency market, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon. You can also follow us on Twitter at FXSCrypto, and if you love the stuff that I do, you can give me a follow at Mongeko with a 0 at the end. Right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin from a weekly perspective. Turn off the logs, turn off the indicators. Right, as you can see here, there was a really good support trend line that kind of was valid after it retested it for the first time on 21st June, and then second time here, and now we finally breached this. Like there's no doubt that this level has been invalidated, right? So this is the first kind of a bearish sign that I'm looking at. Let's take a look at the next one. This chart you're going to be familiar with because just a second. I'm not sure why my net is acting up. Yep, so this chart is, you guys are familiar with this all too well because I've been talking about this for quite some time, right? This ascending parallel channel here fits into the larger bearish flag setup, which is a continuation pattern, right? Usually what happens with continuation, they continue the trend that they saw before the consolidation, right? So this is the consolidation and this is the trend prior to the consolidation. So when a breakout of this consolidation occurs, the price tends to move in the same direction as it did earlier, right? So that is the first rule of continuation patterns. And if you measure this from theoretical or textbook ways, you are looking at a 52% drop, which is basically the height of the flagpole added to the breakout point. Right, and that reveals target of roughly $18,000. And in all of my videos, I've been talking about how this is an extreme case scenario, right? And for me, the local bottom could form around $30,000. Mainly, like the reason why I believe 30K is much more good than 18K is because there's quite a bit of liquidity resting here in between May and July of 2021, and then in the early 2021 swindlers formed here. So it would make sense from a market maker perspective, or like institutions manipulating the market, collecting liquidity, that kind of stuff. It makes sense from that perspective for the price to dip down to 30K, 28K. Right, but it doesn't make sense for the price to head down another 50% from roughly 38K, right? But I think for such a massive downtrend to occur, there should be a capitulation event, like what happened in March of 2020, basically the COVID event, or what happened in November 2018, which was the hash rate wars. I don't see that kind of event on the horizon, but to be fair, you don't see those kind of events. So even if it does, so the only way I expect the price to go down to 18K is if there's an unforeseen event that is like taking place in the backdrop, and then suddenly it hits the market and boom, everything's just gone, right? That's the only way we could drop down to 18K, right? So this is another one, and on top of that, I've been also mentioning about my important levels here, 52K. Any move of 52K on a 3-day or probably even a weekly time frame would kickstart a bull run, right? And similarly, we have 34,752 as the opposite of that. A breakdown of this support level here on a weekly or a 3-day time frame would necessarily indicate the start of a bear market, right? So far, on the 3-day, there's still a couple of hours to go, 14 hours to go to get a daily candle to get a close. On a 1-day time frame, yes, we've already reached this level here, as you can see. Right, and what's interesting is on the weekly, we've also done that. On the weekly also, we've broken down the important level. So essentially for me, I think we are currently in a bear market right now. So what I'm expecting now is for the price to go down to 29K, 28K, whatever the base is going to form around 30K, give or take $3,000, $4,000 is my simple take on Bitcoin. But from a lower time frame perspective, right? from a lower time frame perspective, there is a good chance price could make a minor move up to 35.7K or retest this level 34,752. I think there could be a reversal and the price retests this support level here. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that this is the second bearish sign that I am kind of paying close attention to. Let's move on to the next chart, which is the weekly chart. Right, on the weekly time frame, I have the weekly EMAs here, the 200, 50, and 21. As you can see, the 21 is the gray one, which is moving very close to the price, and then we have the 50 of the green moving average here. What we're seeing here is a, excuse me, right, and what we're seeing here is a bearish crossover that took place in the second and the third week of April, third and the fourth week of April, right? So this is a bearish sign, right? And the last time this happened was after an all-time high in 2017, and then the price dropped, kind of formed a base around 6K and then dropped down to 3K, right? So back to Bitcoin, right? So this is a really important level, and every time we see like a base form is usually around the retest or like a sweep of the 200-day moving average, 200 weekly moving average. Right now, 200 weekly moving average kind of coincides pretty well with this level here, which is 27K, and it coincides well with this level here, what I'm looking at, the liquidity pool. So this is the third bearish signal that the price is going to drop, right? And the last one is the extremely important one, and I am proud to have spotted this, right? I haven't seen any of the street influencers kind of post the setup, so right, let me set it up. And then we have this last one, which is, yeah. So briefly, let me briefly explain what's happening here. I've marked out the volume profiles for 2020, 2021, 2022. And what you're seeing here is basically the visible range of the volume profile since 2019, right? So, right, let me just talk about where the price is right now and what it's doing, right? So right now we have this price at 30, right now the price is hovering around 33K, and that was the volume point of control of 2021. Volume point of control is basically the highest volume traded point for the particular selected range. And it makes sense for the price to kind of bounce around here for a while and then maybe even a relief rally to the upside at 34.7K before it actually dumps down to all the way down to 27K or whatever. Right, so let me take this off. But what's really important here is this void that I'm talking about, right? This void extends from roughly 12K to 29K. And as you can see here, the volume profile for 2020 thins out considerably after 12K. And even for the 2022, it thins out considerably after roughly 30K, but it extends all the way up to at least 29K. So once we get a breach of 30K, I think there could be a slow and a boring and an extremely brutal drop down to at least 19K, which is where the first level of support arises, as you can see here and here. And if we lose 19K, there's a good chance price could head down all the way up to here and slowly fill this gap that you see here, right? So that is my take on what's happening with the Bitcoin market and a macro outlook, basically, right? So that is pretty much it, guys. If you enjoyed this analysis and want to stay updated to the hottest trends in the cryptocurrency market, please make sure to head on over to the YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon. Right? If you like our articles and that kind of stuff, you can give us a follow on Twitter at FXSCrypto. And if you like my work, you can follow me on Twitter at Mangeek with the 0 at the end. I would recommend you to go and check out the macro outlook and potential video that I did on my YouTube channel, where I take a look at Bitcoin from an on-chain perspective and explain how Bitcoin dropping below 29K, which is basically the MicroStrategy level. Let me just quickly share that. Right, we have around here, anywhere from 30K and 29.4K is where the MicroStrategy average buying price is. So if you get a move below that, my strategy has to provide collateral in order to prevent a margin call, right? So I explain all of that in my video. So if you guys love my content, please make sure to check out my YouTube channel, which is in the link in my Twitter bio. That's pretty much it, guys. Have a great rest of the week.